May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Thank you for checking in. Hey, if you like what you see today, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, make sure you hit the like button or the boost button. And do make sure you leave a comment because I like to interact with my viewers. All right. Whether you like the forecast or not, or if you have a different point of view, or if you have a question, make sure you leave a comment. All right. Leave it in the comment section. I respond to all of my comments, period. End of story. Okay. And make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can catch all the updates that I release throughout the week. Now, let's get into it. We're going to look at the economic calendar first. First thing you're going to notice is a bank holiday for the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. That's happening on Monday. And you'll see that the Aussie dollar has a what do you call it? Interest rate decision, and interest rate decisions can move markets. All right, it can reverse a market. So those are high impact. CPI, FOMC, and interest rates. Those are the big ones that can turn the markets upside down. So you want to be careful, and you want to make sure you are aware when those those events take place. CPI data, that's a big one. You want to make sure you're aware when they happen. Tuesday we have Canadian CPI. All right, this is giving you CPI data gives you the insight into what the inflation rates, how they are affecting an economy. Okay, depending on the country, right? And then what do we also have New Zealand dollar. They have the interest rates coming up on Tuesday, and but the big one is on Wednesday, which is FOMC. All right, that is the Feds and the U.S. dollar and interest rates, and man, that's going to be high impact. Are we going to have more than one interest rate hike this year, or are we going to leave it at where it's at because the inflation rates came back? The CPI data came back a little hot and said that inflation is just being annoying and a little bit more annoying than the previous report. So we got to watch that. And then you have a bunch of red folders for Thursday and Friday in all the countries and all. But the big ones I mentioned, so interest rates, CPI data, and FOMC on Wednesday. Be careful, folks. All right. Now, let's look at the US dollar. Okay. All right. First thing I want to mention is last week I told you I gave you this low. This low at 106.96 would be my buy side liquidity target. Sell side liquidity target. I'm sorry, and we did hit that on Friday. Yay! Just want to let you know this. This is just to remind you that these little green check marks are saying that hey, he's not giving bogus information. You understand? Yeah, I know somewhat of what I'm doing. All right, somewhat. Okay. Now, the U.S. dollar is continuing to be bearish. I was calling bearish. I want to remind you, I was calling bearish while others were calling bullish. All right. I cited the big area of supply that price was running into it. I gave you this weeks ahead of time. I said we're heading towards the supply, and it's probably going to turn the market over, and we'll probably see it turn over. I kept saying that here, each week that went by. Now, last week we hit the previous weekly low and the weekly low before the week before, prior to that. So price is moving bearishly, right? Do I expect a pullback this week? Maybe a slight one up until this we hit the bottom of this candle here. All right, and if we go down to the daily, I'm bearish on the weekly and bearish on the daily. All right, with that low, with price choosing to close past that low, that's a good sign that there's more bearish intent. Or we also leave a bearish fair value gap here, and price could use that bearish fair value gap to go lower. All right, just looking for maybe something like this next week. All right. Doesn't have to go up here, but I'm thinking that it will, because why? We took this low here, we took this low, and we have a fair value gap. Price is looking pretty bearish. Okay, so give it a day or two, we might get a 2 candle pullback and out, so we can continue lower next week. And so this would make this low my new sell side liquidity target. All right, and this becomes a solid uh, market structure shift here. All right, I like this as an indicator that price is going to continue lower, especially with it being with that closure below that low. This is some easy uh, liquidity, what they call low resistance liquidity run here. I like to see price hit those lows as it makes its way down. This will be a key level here if price breaks this low, because it was a higher low that ended up uh, you know pushing price up into that area of supply. So a break here would allow me to think that this low is now vulnerable. You understand? We'll probably be heading towards this area of demand, but that's a ways away. That's a few weeks away. All right. Right now, you understand that we are bearish, and uh, there's a reason to think that price is probably going to take up push up before it comes back down, because we took these lows, and we have tapped into an area of demand. All right, that should act as another reason that price will pull up and then come back down. It's just going to be a speed bump. Here, you see these sell to buy. That is an area of demand. That's what we're in right now. So if we go to the euro, we're doing exactly the opposite. I want to point out that I pointed to this last week's uh, forecast, that this would be our buy side liquidity target. We hit that, yay! Okay, we're not giving bogus information over here. Okay, all right. So if we go to the weekly, you can see how price turned around deep, made a deep penetration into this demand zone, and I was thinking that price would hold, and that if we took that low out, then we'll be looking at lower targets here. But price held here, all right, and pushed higher, took out the previous weekly high, and I want to change that to just the line now, and this becomes our new sell buy side liquidity target at 1.0554. All right, if we go to the daily, all right, what are we looking at? We're looking at price make these lower highs and lower lows, right, all the way down, and then this higher low. This low became, it remained protected. All right, we created a high. We kept this low intact, and we broke that high. That is a market structure shift to the upside. That's a bullish indication. I'm looking for price to possibly pull back and then go higher. Why would it pull back? Well, there is if we look closer, let me move it. Come on, man. If we move here, we can see that price did leave a bullish fair value gap here. And I like to see bullish fair value gaps on the daily, because price uses them frequently to go higher. All right, and I'm looking for price to take out this high, and we have that high as the next target. All right, behind that, and it could definitely uh, wing all the way up there. Uh, there is that potential, but I am definitely looking for higher prices to come uh, next week. Okay, a pullback, maybe a 2 candle pullback, one in and then one out, and then we'll head on up to the higher prices, right? If we go to the British, the British pound, if we go to the pound here, I did call this this high here. I highlighted this high, all right, as a an area that I wanted to see price take the sell side, buy side liquidity, and it did happen, and that 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 just makes us look good. Okay, so anyway, you can trust the analysis I give you. That's all I'm saying. And it also, just like the euro, it created an area of a fair value gap here, and I would look for price to pull back into that in order to go higher. All right, where does our buy side liquidity targets? We took out this swing high here, and I like to see that, of course, but uh, this from it because we took out an external area of liquidity. I'm looking for price to now turn to an internal area or internal range liquidity in order to go to the next high, which is here. All right. Now, this one, keep your eye on this one. All right. I'm gonna mark that one as well as our very next target, a buy side liquidity target. But I am definitely looking for higher prices in the British pound. All right. Aussie dollar. All right. You see these little notes that I wrote here. Take a screenshot of it and you see. But I did point out, highlighted that I wanted to see the price take out this high. All right, we did get that right, and chalk another one up for us. All right, just want to when I give out these videos, I want to make sure you get the bias right. You have to know the direction of price. Where is it going? From where? And then you can take your setups. No matter what your strategy is, you need to know which direction the market is flowing in, right? From where to where. All right, and that's what I'm trying to help you out here with. Okay, the price did pull back into this area of demand, which it did here on what was that on Wednesday, and we got that 100%. As soon as it hit that, boom, 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 it went all the way up. Now, what am I looking for? Price could form. Look for fair value gaps to form between here and here. All right, and I would like to see that. All right, there's some low range liquidity to come and get, and there is our liquidity target here, buy side liquidity target. I don't even know if it gets this high next week, but I am looking for price to get closer to it because above these highs are some low range liquidity in my opinion. I'm thinking that we should see bullish fair value gaps form and price reach higher. Okay. Now, should price, because this is a market structure shift here, should price, because we don't see an obvious fair value gap here, I'm looking at the structure itself. All right. And what I mean is I'm looking for order blocks. And this is the next order block in this bullish chain. So if price does pull back, I'm looking for it to pull back no further than here. If it doesn't form a fair value gap, I'm looking for price to pull back here in order to go higher. Okay. If we look at the New Zealand dollar, same deal. Pointed out this high, we got that right. Look at, just review my last weekly forecast for this market, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we got that right. So we're above this. We have our market structure shift here. Look, see how uh, this expansion candle there is pretty nice and broad. I'm looking for price to pull back a little bit, maybe to test these highs, right? But I'm looking for a fair value gap to form between here and here, all right? A nice fair value gap would help price move up towards the buy side liquidity, and that would be there's an order block here that I think price is going to charge through. And I think this is going to be our buy side liquidity target here for next week. And that'll be great. We'll probably get a bump in the road there. So you can expect to see something like this, a pullback into a fair value gap and then higher. Got it? All right. If we go to the Canadian dollar, you see, this is I talked about this range here. I said we want to see price get out of this range. What did it do? It gapped up. It gapped up, and this became a big old area of fair value. All right, an order block. All right, this gap. Once it closed immediately and kept coming up, went back into this consolidation. The thing we have to look for is it going to come to the top? And this is where I was looking for price to do. We got it right. I said price would take this as our buy side liquidity target here. And that's exactly what happened. And now that becomes uh, uh, our market structure shift, right? It's bullish. And we have a bullish fair value gap. So again, you see the theme here. I'm looking for price to continue higher from that bullish fair value gap into this area of supply. All right, we might see price pull back from up here and then continue higher. Looking at these highs here as low resistance liquidity. So I'm definitely looking for this to happen up here. Okay. All right. Now, because price never touched that, I thought it would come back to this. I thought it would come back into this demand zone here. Because price never did, there is a chance that price comes up here, comes up to this supply, comes back down, sweeps these lows in order to get to the area of demand, and then continues higher. So watch for this. Watch for this. All right. This isn't my favorite market. Understandably so, because this sideways movement here. But look for other markets to take your buys in. But I'm bullish in it, and you can see my notes up here. Oil is bearish, and usually the Canadian dollar and oil run pretty correlated because it's an oil-based economy over there in Canada, right? And it's oil dependent, and we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm thinking that it might happen exactly as I just described. There's a potential for it anyway. But if we get past that high, then we're coming up towards this lower resistance liquidity up there. All right. Let me see. Oh, we're running out of time again. Doggone it. All right. The Swiss, the Swiss franc here. All right. Now on the weekly, what do we see? Price is giving us a range here. Top, bottom. I'm looking at that range over here. I'm looking at the equilibrium of that range. I'm looking at price bullishly. All right, moving. You see how it closed here last week. All right, I have a buy side liquidity target here at 1.1215. All right, if we go to the daily, we can see that that is the buy side liquidity target, and we have a market structure shift. I'm expecting price to maybe pull back into the range and then higher to take that high out. All right. If we look at the Japanese yen futures, I'm looking for price to continue bullishly. We have a bullish uh, uh, a buy side liquidity target already here at what is that? Doggone it. I can't read it. There you go. You can see it 0.00656652, and I'm looking for price to continue higher from this area of demand. That's what we're bouncing off of right now. That's the reaction. All right. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. All right. I am looking for prices to go higher against the dollar, and because the dollar is weak. I hope this is cool for you, and I want you to have a safe week.